Well, new today, Louisiana Christian University has named Dr. David Jeffries as acting president of the school following the retirement announcement of Dr. Rick Brewer. Jeffries has served as the executive vice president and chief operating officer of the university under Brewer since January of 2022, according to LCU. Regarding the new appointee, Brewer, LCU's president of 9 years, said in part, quote, "I know Louisiana Christian University is in faithful and capable hands as David Jeffries steps into the role of interim president," end quote. This comes after Brewer announced a change in his career as head of school for Masters Academy in Vero Beach, Florida.